Hey you guys, let's talk about point slope and standard form for today. So the first part is, what is the point slope form of a linear equation? Well, it's called point slope form for a reason. To do it, you need a point and the slope of the line in your set. So that is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And m is the slope, as usual. And x sub 1, y sub 1 is a point on the line. Now, let's get started. It says, write the point slope form of an equation for a line that passes through -2, 3, and has a slope of -2. So this is my x sub 1, y sub 1, and -2 is my slope. So I'm just going to use my formula and plug those values in. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And for y sub 1, I'll plug in a 3, so y minus 3. For m, I'm going to plug in a -2. And for x sub 1, we plug in -2. Now, we're not going to leave that a minus a negative. Keep flip change, that'll become a plus. Let's look at the next one. It says, write the point slope form of an equation for a horizontal line that passes through 4, -3. So this is giving us our slope. What is the slope of a horizontal line? The slope of a horizontal line is 0. So we would have y minus, this is my x sub 1, this is my y sub 1. So y minus -3 equals m times x minus x sub 1. All right, as we discussed earlier, a minus a negative is going to become a plus. And you guys, 0 times all that stuff is just 0. So we don't have to write that. We will just write y plus 3 equals 0. And we're done. Let's look at the next one. It says, write the point slope form of a line that passes through 6, -4, and 8, -3. So they did give us the slope. We're going to have to find it. So I'm going to use m equals the change in y over the change in x. So let's look at our y values. We were -4. We moved up to -3, so that's a shift 1 to the right. We were 6. We moved up to 8. That's a shift 2 up on the number line. So our slope is positive a half. It doesn't matter which points you use for your point slope form. So I'm going to use the first one. That's my x sub 1, y sub 1. So that'll be y minus -4 equals m, which is a half, times x minus 6. And then the minus a minus is a plus, and we're done. Let's look at the next one. It says, write the equation of the graph line in point slope form. So again, to do point slope form, we need a point and a slope. So let's get the slope first. This time we'll do rise over run since it's a graph line. I can put a point here and draw my happy little slope triangle. So we rise 1, 2, 3, +4. We run 1, 2. So my slope is +2. And then we could, any point you want to. I'm going to be cray-cray and I'm going to use that point right there. That's the point, -1, 2. 1 to the left, up 2. So that's my x sub 1 and my y sub 1. So we have y minus y sub 1, which is 2, equals m times x minus x sub 1, which is -1. And then the minus a minus is a plus. Let's look at another one. It says, write the slope-intercept form of a line that has a slope of 2/3 and passes through the point. So they give me a slope and a point. So it only makes sense to start with point slope form. That's why we have these different forms. So we can start with whatever they give us and work our way towards our goal. So we'll start with point slope form since they give us a slope and a point. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. For y sub 1, I'm going to plug in 5. For m, 2/3. And for x sub 1, -6. So the minus of minus will become a plus, and now we're going to change this to slope-intercept form. So this is point-slope form. I'm going to distribute that 2/3, so I'm going to come up here. That'll give me y minus 5 equals 2/3 x plus 2/3 times 6. Let's come over here. 2/3 times 6, 3 and 1 under there. 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3, and 12 over 3 is 4, plus 4. Then to get rid of a minus 5, of course, we add 5. And we get y equals 2/3 x plus 9. All right, let's look at number 6. It says a personal trainer charges $34 an hour. $34 an hour. Whoops, didn't mean to go that far, but that's okay. That's going to be your slope. Plus a one-time registration fee. All right, so that one-time registration fee would be the equivalent of your y-intercept when we did slope-intercept form. The total fee for 11 hours is $400. So 11 hours, $400. That is our x sub 1, y sub 1. Can we write an equation to represent the situation? How much is the registration fee? So since we have a point in the slope, we'll start with point slope form, and then we'll change it to slope intercept form, so we'll know that one-time registration fee. So y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Okay? And then we're going to distribute. So we get y minus 400 equals 34 times x is 34x minus 34 times 11 would be 374. Remember that little trick we talked about? To get rid of a minus 400, we'll add 400 to both sides. And we get y equals 34x, different sign, subtract. And the boss is positive. So what's that one-time registration fee? One time is 26 bucks. I'm going to abbreviate here, reg fee. Alrighty. Now, let's talk about standard form. The standard form of linear equation is ax plus by equals c. It's especially handy for finding the x and y intercept. But there's some rules for standard form. The first rule is x and y can't both be 0. If they were both 0, you don't even have an equation. There wouldn't be anything over there but 0. I guess you'd have an equation, but it'd be 0 equals, it's got to be 0 for it to be true. So you got to have at least one x or one y, or it can't happen. All right, the next rule, a, b, and c cannot be decimals or fractions. They gotta be integers. If they are decimals or fractions while you're doing your work, you just have to get rid of them. You have to multiply by something so that the fractions aren't fractions anymore, or the decimals aren't decimals anymore. And to get rid of decimals, you multiply by powers of 10, right? And then the last rule is a must be positive. You always want to start out on a positive note, right? So, you got these? Let's keep on. Let's look at some examples. We have y minus 5 equals 4/3 times x minus 3, and they want us to write it in standard form. So we're just going to do some old school math here. So first we'll distribute, and that will give us, let me move this a little bit here, y minus 5 equals 4/3 x minus 4/3 times 3. Those 3's will just cancel, and that'll be 4. Now, I need it to look like this. So I've got to get x and y on the same side. So I'm going to move this 5 over here with the 4 first. So add 5. That'll cancel. And we get y equals 4/3 x plus 1. Now, it's up to you. You can get rid of the fraction now, or you can get rid of the fraction next. I'm going to go ahead and move x. So I'm going to kick x out, Get over here, and move it to the other side, which is generally the opposite of what we do. So now when it goes to the other side, instead of being positive, we'll have negative 4/3 x plus y equals 1. Well, we're going to do two things at one time. We're going to make our a positive and get rid of this fraction. So how can we do that? How can I get rid of that fraction? What would I need to multiply by? Right, we need to multiply by 3. But since I want to make this positive, I'm not just going to multiply by 3. I'm going to multiply by negative 3. And you have to do it to every term on both sides. All right, and when I multiply by negative 3, these 3's cancel, the negatives cancel, and you're left with 4x. Negative 3 times y is negative 3y. And negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Now it is in beautiful standard form. We have no fractions, no decimals. A is positive. Doesn't it just look lovely? It's lovely. All right, let's do another one of those. I know that just blew your mind, right? Same thing. It's in point slope form. Let's change it to standard form. So I'm going to distribute. So we'll have y plus 7 equals a half times x is 1/2 x, and then a half times 2 is 1. So let's move the 7 over here. When we do that, we're changing it to what form? Da, 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 da. Slope intercept, very good. And now, to get it in standard form, I need x over here with the y, so we're going to say, come on over here, buddy. So when we move it to the other side, it was positive. It now is negative 1/2 x plus y equals, now that 6 is negative. And we got the same problem. We got fractions. We got a negative leading coefficient. So we got to get rid of that. And we're going to do that by multiplying by, come on, you got this, negative 2. So we're going to multiply everything by negative 2. You get a negative 2. You get a negative 2. Oh, wait, you too, buddy. All right, and now we got 2's cancel, negative. Look at those tiger colors. I'm sorry, I got distracted. 2's cancel, negatives cancel, and we're left with x. 1x, which is just x. Negative 2 times y is negative 2y, and negative 6 times negative 2 is positive 12. And you just can't deny how beautiful those are. All right, let's look at the next one. It says, write the equation of a line that passes through negative 1, negative 5, and 1, 5 in standard form. So, man, they didn't give us a whole lot to work with. I know I'm going to need the slope, because to do slope intercept, our point slope, I need a slope. So let's find the slope. Let's come over here and do that. So change in y over the change in x. So my y was negative 5. Now it's positive 5. So how many spaces did it move up the number line? Good, 10 spaces. All right, my x was negative 1, and now it's at positive 1. So how many spaces did it move up? 2. And 10 over 2 is 5. So my slope is 5. So we got points and slope. Let's do point slope. Let's use this point right here with all the positives going on. So we have everything on here. Y minus 5 equals m, which we got 5, times x minus 1. All right, then we'll distribute. So it's in point slope form now. We're distributing. So now we have y minus 5 equals 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 1 is 5. To get rid of this minus 5, I'm going to add 5 to both sides. That'll cancel. Hey, that cancels too. And we're left with y equals 5x. It's in slope intercept form. Hey, you should have some tingling in your brain. That's a special kind of linear relationship. What kind of linear relationship is that? Come on, you got this. It is a direct variation. Very good. All right, let's get this baby in standard form. So to get it in standard form, we got to put the x over here with the y. Say, come on over here, buddy. It's positive on this side. When I move it over here to become negative 5x plus y. Well, what's left on the right side? You're right, nothing, 0. This almost fits the bill. The only problem is my a is negative. So we're just going to multiply everything by negative 1. I like to call this the magic trick. And you're just changing all the signs. So, ka-chow, ka-chow. 0 doesn't have a sign, so we don't have to worry about it. So now we have 5x minus y equals 0. All right, let's look at the next one. You are going to eat takeout at the local Chinese buffet. Sounds pretty good. Each egg roll is 75 cents and the cost of the buffet box is $7.50 per pound. You have exactly $15 to spend for lunch. Write and graph an equation in standard form that models this situation. So let's write the equation first. Now I want Chinese. So 75 cents per egg roll. So 0.75. Let's let egg rolls be our x. Plus, it's $7.50 per pound for your buffet box. So we'll let our pounds of buffet box deliciativity be our y. So 7.50 y. It says we have exactly 15 bucks. So that can only equal 15. Okay? So we got the equation and now we need to graph it. I think the easiest way to graph this would be to find the x and the y intercept. So let's do that. To find the x-intercept, we would plug a 0 in for y. Well, when you plug a 0 in for y, this is going to go away, right? And you're left with 0.75x equals 15. If it's beside, then you divide. That'll cancel. I just so happen to have a handy-dandy calculator available. 15 divided by 0.75 is 20 wonderful egg rolls. So my x-intercept is 20. Now let's do the y-intercept. For the y-intercept, you would plug in a 0 for x. Now when I plug a 0 in for x, this is going away. And I'm left with 7.50y equals 15. Same deal, right? If it's beside, we divide. And we get y equals, that goes exactly 2 times. So my y-intercept is 2. So when I draw my graph, I'm going to make sure I label and scale so that I can get these points on. So since my x's have got to go up to 20, I'm going to count by 2. So on the x-axis, we have number of egg rolls. And let's count by 2. So 2, 4, 6. I'm not going to continue doing this because I know you know how to count. Ooh, it's getting tight in here. All right, that's good enough. All right, and then on the y-axis, we have pounds of buffet. When I was a little kid, I used to say buffet. Shh, don't tell anybody. So turn it back this way. We only got to go to 2, so I'm just going to count by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. La-da-da. All right, that's good enough. All right, let's plot our points. So our x-intercept is 20. Wish I had my glasses on. Here we go. My y-intercept is 2. Boom shakalaka. I'm going to use my handy-dandy ruler to draw my line. So it'll be butamus. Boom. And we are done like toast. Have a fabulous rest of the day, darling.